Hey guys, I am at Nana's backyard compost right here. Nana was very kind and gave us a bunch of her compost a few weeks ago, and a lot of you guys asked for her setup, and she makes the best compost. So she's gonna walk us through what she does. So,
okay, these are my compost piles.
Yeah.
And these, first of all, let me say a bit about the boxes. My husband made them, they're beehive boxes. And it's kind of nice when you start out and you have a very little, you can stack these. So you start with the low stack. And into this, I like to put, like this. And these are a little bit different style, but they also stack.
And you've got 3 bins mostly, right?
Yes. So one is a brand new pile that I work on making starting as I go. And I save my kitchen scraps, and I ask my family to save their scraps too. Everything except dairy and meat I like to put in here. I put everything in here. And
you layer, right?
I layer it so that when you collect your kitchen scraps, it's called the green scraps or the wet scraps.
And you grass clippings?
And grass clippings, or anything freshly clipped out of the garden. If you go and trim your tomatoes and it's green, it's a green layer. And our compost needs a layer of green and a layer of brown.
And how thick do you try to keep those layers?
It kind of depends on what I have.
Okay.
So I don't get a lot of choice, but I try to keep them even to each other.
Okay.
If I have a little bit of greens, I'll put in a little less brown.
Okay.
If I have a big tub of greens.
And so what is the brown?
The brown is anything that's dried out. This is some of the hanging basket liner that we just kind of...
Isn't that like coconut? Is it coconut?
It's like a coconut fiber.
Okay.
That we had an extra one that was old, so even this stuff I'll compost. Anything organic.
And right here I see you've got some dried leaves that have probably been sitting in here for like a year.
Yeah, so we like to keep some of the leaves from all the trees.
Pile of
yeah. And then, so if we run out of, say, you can use straw, you can use cardboard, any dried grass. In a pinch, newspaper works great too.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I say in a pinch, maybe because the ink that's in there.
Okay.
But I will use newspaper too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Dried grass, so you would put, if you wanted it to be brown grass, you'd put it in here and let it dry out.
Let it dry out.
Okay.
And the leaves are great. That's we kind of keep them so that when we get green stuff, it's easy to run out.
And if you have chickens, the bedding?
Oh, the chicken bedding is the best you can get with the pine shavings and a little bit of chicken manure. It makes the best brown layer.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so you just kind of layer those as you go. A green,
and so that's all the way down here. You've got green,
brown, green, brown. That's how you build it up.
Okay, and you like to leave the brown on top, is that right?
Yes, because that helps really keep your smell down.
Yeah.
And
have you had much smell or animals? A lot of people were wondering about that.
No, we don't really notice much at all. It's pleasant for us to sit out here.
There's actually chicken manure right on top.
Yeah, right.
And I can't really smell it through the coconut or anything.
Yeah. You wet it down a little bit. And your bucket, we had a whole wonderful bucket of green kitchen scraps from Cathy and Garrett that we dumped on, and it was very ripe, smelly.
Yeah.
But right away we put the layer of brown, which was the chicken poop cleanings this time. And I mean, just the smell just goes away.
Now that you've got this all the way to the top, because this is, as I recall, it's 3 by 3 by 4.
Yes.
Is that the ideal dimensions?
That's the best height in everything that I've read. It's a height that gives enough mass for the chemical reaction to sustain itself or be warm enough to keep going. It's got to heat up to kill weed seeds, other seeds, any kind of pathogens or diseases.
So now that you're right about there, 3 by 3, is this as tall as this is for? You might go higher.
I would like one more layer.
Okay, so you'll grab one more of these boxes.
Which is right here, and it just lifts right up off here.
Gotcha.
See?
So you'll put that on, and once you get it to the top, how long do you let it sit here before the next step?
It kind of depends on the weather and what I've got in there, and I'll watch it. But maybe after a month to 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, I'll want to turn it.
Okay.
Or even after a month, I might want to. I'll kind of check it, and if we have real dry weather, I might give it a little water. And it's helpful to poke like a piece of wood or a
like rebar
in once to let a little air and water get all the way down.
Okay.
After it's sat for a couple weeks.
So the process really depends on how much scraps, like green and brown, how quickly you can layer it.
And if you want a fast compost, layer it all the way up to 4 feet.
Okay.
Turn it like in maybe 3 weeks to a month.
Okay.
And by maybe another month.
And what do you
might
mean by
have-
turn?
Oh, good question. When this, so
Maybe we could grab that. Well,
Yeah.
we're not actually going to turn that one.
no,
yet.
but when we do turn it,
Yeah.
we just dig right in there and turn it to the next empty box, and all the way down. And then when we get down to here, see, we can
Pull this box off.
pull this off. It makes it real easy
I
to.
bet.
You're not trying to dig way down into a
Okay.
deep
Totally.
box
Makes
at
a
the
lot of
bottom.
sense,
So
yeah.
that, and also when you build them up, it's
Yeah.
kind of nice that way too.
And so this box would be empty. Ideally, you would actually
Yeah.
start here. You would turn this
Right.
into that box.
Right. Well, yeah. So this one, this is an empty place. Now that we've emptied this one,
Yeah.
if we get one more turn on this, like we'll turn it into here, and then we would turn that one into there.
And so phase 1, you're really just waiting until you get to the right height, and then you might let it sit for 3 weeks.
Yeah, or
Okay.
a month.
A month.
Probably a month.
And then you're going to turn it into kind of phase 2, the
Yeah.
second box.
Yeah.
And then how long do you let this
Maybe
sit
another
here?
month.
Another
Kind of
month.
depend on, and if it gets fall and it gets really cool, or through the winter, it's going to take a little longer.
Okay, because you really want that to heat
Yeah.
up. And you can see right here, Nana's got it covered with a little cardboard.
Yeah,
And how
kinda-
come you covered it?
Well, I covered to keep a little moisture in because we're having that extreme heat.
Yeah.
So just to kind of help keep some
It's
moisture
like 100
in there.
degrees, so
Yeah.
you're wanting,
Yeah.
to kind of cool it down.
Yeah.
And then this just kind of keeps that moisture in from the
Yeah.
sun.
Yeah. That's all that does.
So
yeah.
this will sit here for a month, and then you'll get your pitchfork.
Yeah.
Turn it
and
again.
it'll turn into there.
And then how long does it sit there?
Well, it kind of depends on how well it's cooked or what's going on.
Okay.
But maybe it might be another month. You know,
Okay.
A couple weeks.
And then where are those
2 weeks to a month.
Your screens.
Oh, right over there.
Let me go grab them.
Yeah. Then it's important. We like to have a screen to screen this. So we'll turn this one more time maybe. And I bet when we turn it, the bottom's going to just be done and nice.
Yeah.
And then we'll
And then Nana's got these screens. This one I think is,
also
is it half inch?
quarter inch?
This
No,
this one's
half
quarter inch,
Yeah.
maybe 3/8 or
Yeah.
half inch.
Okay, half inch and quarter inch. Yep.
So, and I think you guys built these. They're just wood frame.
My husband, my wonderful husband, built these, and we set them. We bring our wheelbarrow cart right over here, set it right on the cart, and just scoop some compost on there, and it goes through the screen real easy.
And you kind of like shake it down into there a little. Okay,
Yep.
Shake it in.
Shake it in, and then when we have the bigger stuff left in here, it goes right into our newest compost,
Into the face, kind of first box.
the first box that
Okay.
we're building.
And
up.
it goes through the whole process.
It does, but
Okay.
it also brings. That's kind of nice because it brings some of the beneficial bacteria
Oh.
and things that the new compost needs
Okay.
right in there. So if
Okay.
we put those in there once in a while.
And do you use this quarter inch or just strictly?
we do depends on what we're coming up with in here.
Okay.
The smaller you cut your scraps to put in,
Okay.
the less screening you're gonna have to
Okay,
do.
that's a good tip. So when we're doing our kitchen, because we give Nana all of our kitchen scraps, so I'm gathering that we probably want to be dicing those up a little bit for you, like watermelon peels and
Yeah, yeah.
as much as you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just depending on what people got and how much time they
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I just think this is such a wonderful natural process.
Yeah.
And guess what? It is like black gold to me.
It
The
is.
plants love it.
Yeah. So I had just bought some compost a couple months ago, and it didn't really seem to do much to the garden, but Nana's compost was, I mean, it looks different. It's rich. You can squeeze it and it'll kind of hold firm a little bit, and it just has all these nutrients in it, and it just seems like the plants would love it.
They love it.
Yeah.
They just almost after 2 days, you can put it around the base of your plant, and I swear, if water it, and
Yeah.
like almost 2 days later.
And that's what you
They
do,
look
right?
greener.
For your
Yeah.
plants, you put it right on top, and then you you water it and let
Mhm.
those kind of nutrients soak down.
Mhm,
Is that
mhm.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then so in the fall, if I have enough, I would love to top dress all my beds by an inch or two.
Okay.
And then especially it's more important in the spring, I think, even than in the fall.
Okay.
But especially in the spring, I like to get out there and get an inch or two of compost in,
Yeah.
maybe a few days before I'm ready to plant, if I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we are in the Pacific Northwest, and we get temperature swings from negative
10.
degrees,
Yeah.
all the way to, we just had 114 degrees this year. So we have a really big swing. And so do you use compost? You actually do this process all year long?
I
Hot,
do.
cold?
summer, winter, spring,
Okay.
fall. Yep.
Yeah.
And so I can turn it more often in the summer. You
Okay.
know,
Quicker.
not much
You
goes
get-
on in the winter
Okay.
other than building the pile up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then by spring you want to be out there to turn it, and hopefully once it's ongoing and you get this going and get enough going, I would love to get to the point where I had that in the fall, you know,
I see. Yeah.
to because you're always working on one. I just gave you some, anyway.
Yeah, you just gave us a whole load.
Anyway, I would love to get, you know, but I feel so lucky even to have this much compost.
Yeah.
I do, you know.
It doesn't take up that much room either. It's
No,
right here in
yeah.
the back where, you know, if it did smell, it wouldn't be near your house. But honestly, I'm standing right here by it. It doesn't smell. The only thing I've ever smelt when I've smelt compost, especially the finished stuff, is soil. It smells like soil to me. It's
well,
not.
bless your heart.
It's not like a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once in a while, I will say when you turn it, when
Yeah,
it's
okay.
cooking, you can run into a little odor.
Hot and it's.
But it seems like once you get it turned and you got it covered on top or the layer, it just doesn't
Doesn't smell.
smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was most. Everyone was asking. The most common question was about smell, animals. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you might have a little bit of a. I don't really see. We have cats. I don't really see. I did one time see a rat in
My
there.
sister's dog loves this stuff.
Yeah, you do have to
Dina
watch.
would get in
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
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 But I don't seem to find it drawing much
Yeah. Yeah.
critters or interest or birds or rats or anything.
And I think one really cool thing about compost too is that it uses, you know, those leaves and grass clippings that would otherwise you'd probably send to the city or, you know, I don't know
really
what
know
you do
what
with
to
them.
do with.
Yeah, it really turns it into this magic nutrient for your garden.
I just so it's all a valuable resource to me.
Yeah.
When you cut your lawn and you've got your grass, I'm like, what are you doing with your grass clippings? I'll take them. You know?
Yeah.
They're a valuable resource, yeah, for
Yeah.
the compost pile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is Nana's compost. If you guys have questions, let us know. We can come back to Nana and ask her. She's been doing this
Absolutely.
for how long have you been doing this?
Oh,
for?
I bet I've been doing this 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
So she makes the good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.